Be the change you want to see in the world. Many of us have heard this phrase before, a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, one of the greatest social justice leaders of our time. Many of us don't know the story behind the quote, however. In his biography, it's reported that Gandhi was approached by a woman who said, "Mahatma," out of a sign of respect, "Mahatma, my son won't listen to me. Keeps eating sugar." Imagine bringing this question to Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi looks to the woman and says, "Madam, come back in 1 month and I'll have the answer." So the lady makes the long journey back 1 month later with her son again and says, "Mahatma, you've had a month, you've thought of this question, please, my son won't listen to me. He won't stop eating sugar." Mahatma turns to the boy with a very stern expression and says, "Young man, listen to your mother and stop eating sugar." The woman looks to Gandhi and says, "Mahatma, respectfully, thank you, but you couldn't tell him that last month you made me come back the long journey again?" Gandhi looks to the woman and says, "Madam, last month I too was eating sugar." Be the change you want to see in the world. The number one reason why young people volunteer, their parents volunteered with them. We complain often about youth voting rates declining. They're also declining among adults. If you want to nurture a socially responsible child, it starts at home, it starts in the family, it starts with daily acts of kindness, from reading the paper together, to volunteering together, to helping nurture simple, everyday acts of service. Be the change you want to see in the world.
I'm Zach Hunter. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a modern-day abolitionist. So I first heard about modern-day slavery 3 years ago. I was learning about Frederick Douglass, Dr. Martin Luther King. Then when I found out that slavery still existed, I felt like I had to do something. Different people go through different emotions when they hear about stuff like this. I just got pretty angry about this. I was like, how could this still be going on? But you really have to do something with those emotions to make them worthwhile. When I was 12 years old, I started Loose Change to Loosen Chains. It's entirely student-led, and it's about raising loose change to free slaves. There's more than $10.5 billion of loose change in American households. And also, I think that the teenagers today, my generation, is a generation that can really change things. So I decided to take something as underestimated as loose change and as underestimated as the teenage years, put them together.
What's great about his campaign is that everybody, most of the time, just has loose change around, and not many people even really want to carry it. They got some pennies and dimes and stuff that you just really, most people don't have much worth to, as if it's not in a dollar bill. So they can just take that off and really just make a difference with freeing these slaves. So.
The reason why many people get trapped into slavery is deceit. They're always thinking they're going to a better life, or they're thinking they'll get their kids right back afterwards, or they're thinking they're paying for a debt, but really, they're not. Well, this guy's name is Nizam. He's the guy holding the check right there. And what happened with him is that he was living with this guy, who's like his great uncle, because his parents had died or something. And this slave trader person was going from town to town, like trying to get kids basically to sell. And the great uncle said, "No, I'm not going to sell my grandnephew, I guess, into slavery." And she came back the next day and basically lured Nizam away with money and with treats and stuff, because he was really, really poor. And he also got into a rug loom, the same situation. Now, I mean, I kind of explained this before, but the fibers on the rugs are stretched so tightly across that they always cut their fingers on it. And to seal the wounds, they dip the fingers in boiling oil. So it's not exactly the best situation in the world.
How is slavery now compared to slavery back a long time ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same, except there are a lot of different forms of slavery now. And there are so many different kinds. There's sex slavery, domestic slavery, people working in houses and stuff. agricultural plantations, you know, working farms and stuff like they did a long time ago, rug weaving, matchmaking. I mean, like, there's just a whole long list. It's basically pretty much any job.
There are still 27 million slaves in the world today, and the reason why they stay slaves is because they may get into a medical debt or something, and they have to pay it off by working for a slave master.
And you have something in your hand. What is this?
This is a pair of shackles that they would use on a modern-day slave today, on a little child.
So these aren't old.
No.
How old are they?
These are 5 years old. An abolitionist is just someone who frees slaves. And you know, if your little brother or sister or your son or daughter was wearing these and rolling cigarettes all day, you would want somebody to go and free them. That's what we're trying to do.
People trafficking, the fastest growing trade across our world. Every minute, every day, men, women and children are being transported, used or sold against their will. They are the victims of trafficking. Right now, as you watch this film, trafficking is happening. People are being herded across borders, across continents, sometimes in groups, but they are often trafficked alone. They live in terror. Others watch their every move. They treat them like cattle. But the truth is, they're not just a statistic. These are people, someone's mother, someone's child, and they're dreaming of freedom.